Hey guys, welcome to Associate Tribe. Today we're going to be talking about emails. Yeah, emails, those little gifts that you're constantly receiving and sending back. Specifically, we're going to be talking about 7 tips and tricks to help up your law firm email game and avoid potentially embarrassing mistakes. Okay, first things first, make sure your to and CC lines are clear before drafting an email. That means taking out all of the recipients from an email you're responding to and putting nobody in an email for a brand new email that you're drafting. And if you're responding to an email, a really quick way to empty out those to and CC lines is to click forward instead of reply or reply all. And that way you get brand new to and CC lines completely empty. And as an added bonus, you get to attach any of the documents that were already attached to that original email that you might want to include in your response. So clearing the to and CC lines are incredibly important. It gives you the freedom to draft and edit your email response as much as you possibly want without the fear of sending an inadvertent email, an unintended email to someone or before you're ready to send it. So I know it takes an extra 5 to 10 seconds to add those recipients back in after you finish drafting your email, but trust me, it is completely worth it. There are so many war stories about associates who sent emails to unintended recipients or emails that had language in them that weren't intended to be sent until it had been edited out. So clear those to and CC lines. Okay, so tip number 2, make sure when you're drafting an email that you single somebody out by name. That means that rather than sending an email, something along the lines of, here are the documents we received from the client, to say specifically, Brian, here are the documents we received from the client, please review them and let us know what they generally say. Something along those lines. Because anytime that you're sending an email to more than one person, like an internal team email distribution list or opposing counsel or even in-house counsel, there's going to be this human nature tendency to not respond. So most people, if they don't have to and they're not assigned a specific task, are just generally not going to respond because everyone's so busy and everyone has a lot on their plate that they're not just going to jump at the chance to respond to an email that it's unclear whether it is within their purview or within their part of the case or account. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're singling people out. This works really well for questions as well as tasks being assigned. So if you want an answer to a question, make sure that you're singling the best person you can think of to answer that question. So for example, instead of sending an email, what is the status of the document collection? A much better email would be, Brian, please let us know the status of the document collection so that we can send these over to the client. That way, even if Brian isn't the correct team member who is in charge of the document collection, it still moves the ball forward because he can tell you, hey, this isn't my task, it's Molly's, so please get in touch with her. Either way, it's gonna get you a response faster than you would if you just generally send an email to a group of people without singling somebody out. If you truly don't know who's in charge of something, or you truly do want the email sent to an entire group of people, let that be known and indicate that by saying, for example, all, comma, below is a list of documents, please take a look and let me know if anyone has any heartburn with us producing them. Something like that, so that the group knows it's a group task. And instead of thinking, okay, well, documents aren't under my umbrella, so I'm not gonna look at them. At least somebody knows that it needs to be assigned specifically to somebody or that everybody's in charge of their respective documents, that sort of thing. Same thing with an email to opposing counsel. You can say counsel, comma, here's a red line of the protective order. Please let us know your comments and when you're free for a meet and confer on Wednesday, that sort of thing. If you just say that without assigning it to anybody in particular, there could be the same confusion on the other side. Who's in charge of getting back to you? Who's in charge of responding? So always assign somebody specifically if you can. If you do want an email sent generally to the whole group, make sure you indicate that as well by using all, team, counsel, some sort of signifier like that. Tip number 3, write a to confirm email. Now, the to confirm email comes in really handy when you've been assigned a project or a task sort of on the fly, either in a team meeting, a team conference call, in the hallway by somebody. And the to confirm email is just that. You're writing an email to explain your understanding of what the project is and ask if there's anything additional that you're missing or that the partner wants you to add. Now, this comes in really handy with partners who tend to not explain the project completely at the beginning and tend to have substantive edits on the back end, and partners you've never worked with before. So you may not know their style yet, their management style, what they're expecting. So it may be a good idea to send a to confirm email the first or second project that you're working going with them on until you sort of get into the groove of how they operate. And an example of a to confirm email may be something like, to confirm what we just discussed, my understanding is that you would like me to draft a cease and desist letter, identifying X website, and attaching a copy of the best case law that we have where an injunction was granted on this same type of behavior. Please let me know if there's anything additional that you would like me to add. Now, if the partner's in the same office as you are, you can absolutely go into their office, give them a call. But if they're busy or you're having a hard time getting a response, this type of email is very helpful. And just to have it in black and white is helpful as well, so that you can have sort of a record of what you understood the project to be. And that serves two purposes. One, hopefully it causes and forces that partner to think about the project a little bit more than the 10 or 20 seconds that they took while they're explaining it to you, and help you to not have to do additional work on the back end that could be helped by them just thinking through the project a little bit more. And it also gives you sort of a line of defense where you have explained and communicated what you understood the project to be. And if they have any substantive edits on the back end, that's sort of egg in their face, and they should be able to be a little bit more lenient as far as time or flexibility goes in getting those changes made. So a to confirm email is a very good tool to have and very useful in those circumstances. Tip number 4, never end an email with a question, meaning never end an email with a question mark. That takes you out of the driver's seat of an email and puts you at the mercy of the recipient of that email to get you an answer, to get you edits, whatever it is you're asking them for. And that person may not respond for hours or days. So an infinitely better approach is to end an email with a statement. So for example, attached is a draft of the motion for summary judgment. Please let me know if you have any edits. Or I propose that we do the following course of action, A, B, C. Please let me know if you disagree. That way, it adds an extra layer of protection for you, keeps you in control of the timetable and the task, and puts the onus on the other person to get back to you in a reasonable amount of time with any edits or any disagreements or any comments. And this is incredibly important because if that person doesn't respond at all within a reasonable amount of time, then you absolutely have the implication that you can go forward with your plan of action, that that person doesn't have any edits. And if they then try to come back at the last minute with some edits or comments, egg is on their face for waiting so long, and absolutely gives you a layer of protection with proceeding with the plan of action that you proposed because you never got a response back from them. So never end an email with a question, always end an email with a statement. It will work out infinitely better for you, I promise. Tip number 5, set a time deadline for a response to your email. That's right, you can make up your own time deadline for people to respond to your email. Now, don't do this all the time or people are gonna stop taking you seriously because you're gonna become known as the person who sets time deadlines on everything arbitrarily. But you absolutely should and can set a time deadline for something that is time sensitive. And this will get you responses back more quickly and let you have what you need to be able to do your job. So for example, you can send an email saying something like, attached is the draft of the motion for summary judgment due on Friday. Please send me your edits by Wednesday evening so that I can get them incorporated and send around a new draft to the team. And you can probably even do that earlier than that. I would say Tuesday or Monday is a very fair timetable to ask for edits as well. Now, we all know that you can't stop partners and clients from sending you edits after the fact, but it does two things. One, people will sit up and take notice of a deadline that you create and will usually get you those edits by the time deadline that you ask for them. And so you'll get a big chunk of them then. And two, it adds a layer of protection so that anybody who sends you edits after that deadline, everybody is aware that that was sent late and that you will be getting the credit for trying to compile all of those within a time crunch and will make them look bad, not you. So setting that time deadline, very important. Incorporate that for time-sensitive projects, absolutely. Tip number 6, never send an email on a Friday evening. If at all possible, do not do it. Not only is it a professional discourtesy to send a Friday evening email to opposing counsel or client or even another team member, it will also, more importantly and more selfishly, help save your weekend. I know how good it feels to work night after night. It's Friday at 8 p.m. and you're finished and you want to offload that project to somebody else. You want to check it off your to-do list. But the problem and the risk that comes with doing that is that you have now made yourself susceptible to follow-up questions and follow-up emails all weekend long. And even if you wind up not getting any of those, you still have to sit by your phone all weekend just in case somebody has a follow-up question or a follow-up email. So save yourself the trouble, enjoy your weekend, sit on that project until Sunday evening. A much better approach, send it Sunday evening. That way you get to enjoy your weekend, and as an added bonus, it makes it look like you worked all weekend long. So in order to really get that weekend that you deserve, wait and send that email Sunday evening. Do not send any email Friday evening if at all possible. Last but not least, the most simple but the most important tip of all, always proofread your emails. I cannot overemphasize this enough. Treat emails like you would if you were drafting a brief or a memo or an agreement for another party. They are just as important. You never know who is going to get these emails forwarded to them. Even if it's an internal team member, they may forward it to the client saying see below, or even if it's just internally and viewed internally, you are not going to lose respect faster than with a poorly written email, and you're not going to have others gain confidence in you faster than with a perfectly written email, professional in tone, clear, and the substance is right on point. So take the time, proofread your emails. It's absolutely worth it, and you will not regret it. So there you have it. Those are your 7 emails, tips, and tricks. I hope this video was helpful for you. I want to leave you with one final thought. Keep in mind that our work as attorneys most of the time takes the form of emails much more than it does official documents. So keep that in mind when you're taking the time and energy to invest in writing good, well-crafted professional emails. It's absolutely worth the time and attention. And I hope that what we discussed today was helpful for you. If you would like to ask a question, write a comment, or share a war story, please do it in the comment section below. If you would like to receive a notification every time we release a new video, click on the subscribe button. And as always, I will see you in the next one.